Hello everyone, welcome to our Season 2 finale of Cyberpunk Red. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Tonight I'll be GMing our game in Night City, but before we begin, I would just like to shout out our sponsors for tonight's game, starting with, of course, Untitled Games, the makers of Cyberpunk Red, also the makers of The Witcher. They are giving away through us a set of the Jumpstart Kit, basically the rule set that we've been using for all of our first season, actually. So if you would like to play Cyberpunk Red before the book comes out, you have a chance tonight of winning the whole rule set, so you can start playing today. We'll be giving that away at the break. We'll also be giving away another cool thing tonight, courtesy of our partners, Level Up Dice. We're giving away a set of specially branded D6s with the Level Up Dice logo on them. They're made of aluminum. I, of course, don't have them nearby. Again, dang it. But I'll show them at break so you can all see what it looks like, and we'll also be giving that set away. I would like to give a shout out to our other sponsors, MAGE Press and Found Familiar, both great companies that you can check out and use code WanderingDM to get a bunch of discounts on your purchases. Did I go through everything? No, I'm missing Roll20, the platform that we use to play all of our games here on Wandering DM. If you want to play online TTRPGs, you should check out roll20.net. That said, let's go around the table, introduce the cast for this Season 2 finale, and we will begin with the person to my right on the overlay, Adelaide.
Yeah, that's me, Adelaide Gardner, or Adelaide on Twitter. I play Reno, our solo. About me, I am part of a company called Action Fiction. We just launched our Kickstarter for our expansion for Monsters of America. It's now fully funded, and we just reached our first stretch goal, which is nuts. But yeah, if you want to go buy that, it is full of lots of fun. It is Guy Fieri and Flavortown themed. So if you like memes, you will probably like that. So go check it out. That's called Monsters of America. And that's it for me.
Before we move on to our next person, I bought the original and I kickstarted the new one, and if you like parody and you like D&D, you should definitely check out Monsters
It is very, very funny. Yeah.
Our next person is Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and for this campaign, I play the most well-adjusted, normal, and sane character of the cast, Jimenez.
Well, the glove was tossed, as they say. Up next is Rin.
Yeah, I'm the crazy one. You know, I'm absolutely, mute your mic. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hi, I'm Jane. Whoa, am I muted? No, okay. This night's not gonna go well. I'm Rin. I play Jinx. Who's crazy? That's it. I'm leaving it there. Next.
Chris, you're up.
Good evening, Chumbas. My name is Chris Geary, and you can find me here on Fridays playing the infamous Mr. White and the illustrious Dr. Frost, who are one in the same. I'm happy to be back. I'm ready to wrap up this season and see what we have in store for next time around.
And last but not least, Deirdre.
Hey y'all, you know me, I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, Proxy4, you see me around on Twitch, and I use she, her pronouns, and I get to play Trins, who also uses she, her pronouns, and apparently is, I don't know what anybody's problem is, Trins is extremely well adjusted, and she's very nice. Everybody likes her, including Santino. Except maybe he's possibly a little bit upset right now, kind of. I mean, he's unconscious, so she doesn't care.
Speaking of Santino, what do y'all remember happened last time? I mean, the map on Roll20 probably says it all, but for the people watching at home, what happened?
Trins had a very adult conversation with her complicated although firmly now ex-boyfriend. And because, he shot her sister. Wow, I can't even today. He shot her brother. That was complicated, not really what she was going for. But then, so, like, there was whole confrontation, but, like, and he was trying to justify his actions. He was not justifying them well. And then, but Jimenez snuck in through the back door and, like, sleeper choked out a guy without anybody noticing. It was primo. And then finally, once, Trins got real tired of listening to Santino's bullshit justifications for all of the crap that he is doing, they're like, well, fuck this shit. Apparently, Arasaka will pay for his ass, and I'm tired of dealing with this. So we'll take him alive. And then Reno proved that she's a badass by breaking through the ceiling.
3v1, baby, 3v1.
3v1, took them all out. Went out, and then like the whole thing that shot a guy and then used the body and then shot a guy's hand off and then used the body for protection and all of this. And then when she got thrown out of the window at the end, she was dope as fuck. But Jinx proven that she's also total badass, sniping people through windows left, right, and center, and then seeing Reno getting chucked out a window, has to go save her girl, and beautiful rescue
and now we're
on
dating.
the street.
Jinx and I are dating.
I have no idea if they're dating or not. I'm just saying.
It just all happens off screen. Just don't worry about it,
There's a lot that happens off screen in this game. But Jimenez managed to like grab Santino and drag him out, and we got in the RV, and Mr. White apparently had been training with Jimenez and like suplexed the guy, or well, threw him, I guess. I don't know. Trins doesn't watch wrestling. Her brother does that. That's what that's for. She cheers for people. She cheers for Jimenez, but she doesn't actually know what's going on. And then but Jimenez kidnaps Santino. We wrap him in the car. Apparently he tries to escape with like a grenade launcher that he put in his arm. And like Trins' comment is like, dude, bitch, please. First of all, that's a cheap ass work. I could have definitely done better. And number two, don't fuck with my ride, bitch. You're trying to fire a grenade in my ride? No. That's why she built the taser. And that's why you should always be prepared to tase your ex-boyfriend in the crotch.
I just wanted to add that the completely missed detail was that Jimenez brought back his Justice Mime persona, which he was doing all of his fighting while
I want Justice Mime to now be a vigilante superhero. Ooh, maybe we can get like you a marketing contract with like a comic book writer or something.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, that's that was a key note that we just should throw out there. That when the going gets tough, the tough get pantomime. So
see.
And
Jimenez got into mimes. Trins got into quoting various important things. And apparently somebody special ordered like a flak jacket for Jimenez that for Justice Mime that says mime, in case you're at all confused about a guy in black and white with a face paint and all that stuff.
So we're going to pick back up tonight with the crew in the RV. After the fight at the fire station, we'll jump the clock forward maybe 20 minutes. Enough.
Is that when Kiyoshi calls back to negotiate?
Yeah. I just wanted to finish adding enough time and distance has been put between you and the fire station to make sure that you are safe and that none of the goons that you've severely beaten would get back together, get their shit together, and try to run after you.
I took the car. The Nomad car.
Oh, it's functioning.
Yeah. So I took it.
Trins would find somewhere further enough away, but the minute she does, she's going to dismantle the bomb in Santino's arm.
Oh, it's not a bomb.
Well, the grenade launcher.
Yeah, you can just remove the grenade from it.
She's going to dismantle the whole thing.
It's a cyber arm.
That's okay.
It's gonna take you a couple of hours to go through
well,
it.
she'll take the triggering mechanism apart, which would basically be simple.
Mr. White's phone, or agent, would ring.
And pick it up. Hello?
Mr. White.
Kiyoshi-san.
I heard there was a kerfuffle at the fire station.
There was a disagreement.
And which side was Mr. Santino Matsuda on in this disagreement?
He's on the unconscious side.
But still breathing.
Plastic cuffed and unconscious, yes. That means alive.
Did you have time to think about our proposal?
That's why I texted you that we had him in. We had the package. We need a deal.
Good. I will forward you a delivery point. You bring the package there, and we can negotiate about a reward.
What? That doesn't sound like you.
Well, we did want to get rid of Santino Matsuda.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing the work that we should have gotten around to do at some point.
You guys have a lot of irons in the fire, and you can't really make yourselves known in Night City right now, if I understand the way things work. But maybe I'm mistaken.
Night City still bears a grudge against the great company that is Arasaka, but we are putting out said fires one at a time, with the aid of third-party contractors such as yourself.
Yes. Did the last package work out for your needs? The gift I left for you.
Can Chris just remind me very quickly what it was again?
It was the guy, the patsy, who could easily be spun as the guy who brought down IEC.
Yeah.
The demolitions expert.
Mm-hmm. He will serve his purposes.
Well, I'm glad. It's always good to know that a gift is well received.
But since you are doing, and I should have rephrased my sentence from earlier, since you are doing the work of Arasaka, it is only wow, now it's Simon losing his words. It's only normal for us to add you to the payroll in some capacity.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary. I think contract work suits us quite well. But in this case, it just happened that our paths crossed your paths twice. Actually, 4 times now. But it just was mutually beneficial. I don't think there's any need to get all formal and anything like that. That would, I don't know, complicate things.
Are you certain none of your group would like to join the great Arasaka family?
As soon as he had made that offer and I had started responding, I would have shifted it over to speakerphone
Okay.
and muted to let him finish, and told people to just kind of listen, and then drew it out of him again. Well, I don't know. Let me ask him. Anybody here want to be on
Nope.
a payroll currently? Or do you prefer to be contractors? I hear Reno would like to stay a contractor.
Yeah, hell no. Contract.
Jinx prefers to be a contractor. I know Menas has another job. I don't know that the payroll would do well. What do you say there, friend?
Jimenez doesn't say anything. He's gone into pantomime mode. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to work out there. Non-compete clauses or something about sponsorship deals with Icon or something like that. I don't know. It was really weird. Plus, it was all in pantomime. I don't translate that very well. Friends?
What?
I know that some hardships have befallen people you know recently. And is this something that you would be interested in?
And she like gestures for you to hit mute for a second.
I do.
Do you think I can get like built into the contract access to R&D?
I can ask, but I can't guarantee that. All right, unmute. Trins is still looking at her options since, I don't know, the Night City Police Force, which seems to be connected to Arasaka, was not kind to her in her employment previously, or her family. So she'd like to peruse other options before settling down. So I think contract work suits us. Have you had problems with us as contractors so far?
Absolutely not, but I thought it prudent to ask.
I appreciate the offer, and I completely understand the respect that comes with such an offer. I do not mean to show disrespect by saying no. It just does not seem to fit with how we work best.
And I will wager, as contractors, you want and deserve payment for what you've done with for us today.
Well, you did offer it as a paid opportunity for Santino. The other things, they were a gift, sir. I do not ask for any sort of compensation for anything that I've given freely. That would be just rude.
Do you want your payment to be strictly in the form of Eurobucks, Mr. White, and friends? Or would you like a more tangible payment?
What sort of tangible offer is on the table? We don't mind bartering a little bit.
There have been forays into the ruins of the old Arasaka Towers made over the course of the last few weeks. We have recovered several pieces of equipment, cyberware, and other trinkets that might be better used in the hands of edgerunners such as yourselves. They're older models and do not fit well in the new vision that Arasaka has for Night City.
Do you mind sharing the prepared vision statement that Arasaka has for Night City, so that way we know not to run afoul of it?
Oh. It's still undergoing multiple revisions, but let's just say that Arasaka had a bit too much of a hands-on approach when it came to the welfare of Night City. And I think that rubbed a few people the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why that might. Would that explain the acquisition of the police department?
I am not at liberty to discuss what our subsidiaries do.
Fair enough. But you see, that subsidiary is trying to collect on a bounty that is supposedly coming from either you or the ghost of IEC from beyond the grave. Not you personally, Kiyoshi-san, but Arasaka. Multiple of the former members that are now security for Barrett Industries were clearly out to collect.
That is troubling indeed.
And don't get me wrong, I am a tad flattered, but the number that was given, I mean, I love everybody that's in this group, but you must understand, there's no way anyone should take that number seriously, because we aren't that big a fish.
Can you make a persuasion roll, Mr. White?
I can. The question is can I succeed? So, persuasion, if I remember correctly. Yeah, okay. What? And we'll change that to D10. Exploding. Kaboom. Only a 16.
With the 16, Kiyoshi-san will reply, while I cannot say anything about Barrett Industries or what their intentions are towards you or even the greater Night City, I may be able to look into it as a favor.
A favor, not a gift. Understood. I personally would be happy to ask for that favor, but I'm not willing to put anybody else on the line for that, as it's more of an inconvenience for me, especially when they're running around flapping their gums like Santino here and Chris forgot the guy's name again that we ID'd.
Which one? The guy that you sent them?
The helicopter guy.
Oh, was it? No, it's not Bruce. It's
No. It was the guy that got kicked off the force that negotiated with Santa.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. That's not him. Oh, Carson Tyler.
Yeah. And one Carson Tyler, current employee of Bad Industries, which I know is not anything you have control over, but Mr. Tyler, who used to be part of the Night City PD, made it a point to even hire outside contractors to try and collect. he is the one that put your face in with the rest of ours when they lit up the hotel room with a private investigator inside who called us. So that would help you tie up the last loose ends as to your connection getting around. The photo was one that was close enough that an agent could have taken it, and not from a distance. It was a pretty decent headshot, so I had to zoom in a bit, but probably not that far. So I'd be wary about who it is.
We will keep an eye out on this Tyler fellow.
Yeah, I'm just looking out for you there, sir. You have proven a useful customer or client and ally when our enemies align. And I appreciate that. Wouldn't want anything to sneak up on you.
I thank you for your concern.
Well, that's kind of what I do. I watch out for people. So, speaking of which, it depends on the kind of tech that you've got coming out of Arasaka. If any of it is, I know you said they're older models, but if any of them were toying with bleeding edge at the time and didn't quite make it, I might be intrigued a little bit. Otherwise, I think I'd lean more to the cash projects to work on. And yeah, but I can't speak for everybody else in the room. So what is the equivalent value you're offering, either as a whole that I will do the math on or individually?
The total amount for the return of Centino would be around 5,000 euro bucks.
5K?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of tech?
He's like, that would be out of game information, because even he doesn't really know. But like, if you want to get an idea, it's a mixture of weaponry, armor, what do you call it? Gear, and one piece of cyberware, which is called, and I'm trying to find it again. There we go. It's a call them cyber muscle, grafted muscle and bone lace.
Okay. So does that fall under basically like biotech versus cybertech?
It's not biotech, because those are purely artificial muscles.
Okay. So this kind of replaces the muscle then? It
adds to it.
Adds to it, okay.
Yeah. It beefs you up.
I don't know. I kind of like, I look over at everybody and I pull my sunglasses down and I mouth 5K and roll my eyes. Say, okay, 5K is not terrible. The gear, might be useful, but I'd be more happy with the 5K if we can just leave Santino at the same drop site we left the last guy. Nothing personal, Kyoshi-san, but if rumors are true about NCPD and their connection with Arasaka, and they are still actively trying to collect on this bounty of sorts, I'd rather know where I'm going and what the layout is.
I'm afraid I cannot go beyond the 5,000 for this.
That's fine. That's why I offered an alternative. The 5K is fine. Just let us drop them off where we dropped off the last guy. You can leave the 5K in place of it in cash, and we'll swing by and pick it up later.
Agreed then. We would like to have him tonight if possible.
Oh, I would like to get rid of him in as fast as we can get our way over there. So you should be able to have him in, I don't know, 45 minutes. I look at trends to see if that's reasonable.
She'll nod.
Is that fast enough for you?
$45 should do it. You might have to wait a few more minutes. Give us an hour.
Do we need to be there? I mean, you can just leave the cash. We trust you.
No, what I mean is we might not be able to have the cash in less than an hour.
Oh, okay.
And as far as our relationship goes, Mr. White, while I personally do trust you, my higher-ups will want to see proof of Santino's delivery before they release the money.
Oh, no problem. I will make sure as soon as we get there that he's dropped off. And with my agent, I will zoom in on his face. Or actually, I will zoom in so it's just enough of his upper body to show that he's cuffed and unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And not enough to really show anything else about where he is other than inside a vehicle of some sort,
Mhm.
like a van, and then shoot it to him right there while we're on the phone.
Okay.
So we have him in tow. He's unconscious, like I said. And as soon as he's in an empty oil drum, like the last guy, I'll shoot a photo so you can see that too.
Good.
It's always a pleasure doing business with you, Kiyoshi-san.
Likewise.
And don't hesitate to reach out with a job offer if something comes up. We're always looking for reliable work here or there. Depending on what our dance card looks like, we may be able to accommodate. We're not some sort of wet work team, though. We're a little more creative than that.
I'll make sure to keep that in mind. Have a good day, Mr. White.
You too. I'll let him hang up.
Oh yeah, he hangs up almost immediately.
I'll look at everybody and go, 5K? I've spent more than 5K just trying to find information. Heck,
lot.
I've spent more than 5K on food in the last, I don't know, 5 weeks. If you count that sushi dinner. Oof.
I mean, then if we're gonna take some time getting there anyways.
I'd like to get there sooner than later and make sure nobody's waiting for us. As much as I trust Kiyoshi, I don't trust the people he works with.
Oh no, that's true. I was just saying that somebody else might want to ask Santino why the fuck he's only worth 5K. His cars are worth more than that.
Oh, yeah. After we put him in the oil drum, you can ask him all the questions.
I'm gonna take the arm though.
That's going to complicate keeping him tied up.
No, not really.
So while he's still out, hold him down to make sure he's not faking it. Somebody, please. I'll help. And then somebody take the other arm and connect it to one of his ankles.
His arm broke when I had kicked him, so might
Which
wanna
arm
double
broke?
check and-
Was it the cyber arm?
No, it was the
No,
other
it
one.
was the other.
Oh, yeah, that'll be painful. Make sure we connect that because I kept that. I splinted that so he wouldn't bleed out or tear anything at the end of last game. I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll just connect that to one of his ankles that's already cuffed together, and that might work. But that's not going to feel good.
To you.
Are you saying it'd feel good to other people?
I'm not saying anything at all.
Okay. I'm just saying a broken arm being yanked behind your back down to your ankles is not the most pleasant feeling.
So you tie him up as best you can.
Yep. And the first thing that I will help Trins do, well, we can do that once we've stopped, is disconnect the cyber arm, like the controls, from his nervous system. It'll take more to actually disconnect it from his body, but we can at least keep it from actually functioning.
That being the case, I would need
Cybertech?
to remove it. That actually goes under surgery.
Oh. Well, that's what I'm known for.
You can make a surgery roll, but first I'll ask Trins to make a drive roll. The result of which will either impair or leave the check as is, depending on how rough the driving goes in Night City.
Well,
Okay.
we definitely have. Rin's not in the car, not in the RV, so we can put the med tech bed down. We don't have to worry about putting the.
No, the bike's in there because she took the car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because she
she-
took the car.
She took the car. All right.
I don't mind. I've done more on less. And plus he's fully sedated. I already did that after you shocked him
Twice.
because I didn't want him waking up. Yeah, you shocked him twice. So he's fully sedated.
It's an 18. I rolled low.
Yeah, not bad though.
All right, so for the surgery, you will have a -2.
Okay. So I will adjust my number already.
Could have been
So I will
a whole lot worse, but mind you, with a +15, not that much.
I'm already subtracting 2 from my modifier before I roll it.
Oh, no problem.
And then roll, maybe. Did you roll? 19.
19. Let me
I'll
just.
spend 3 luck and bump it to a 22.
Okay. Let me check very quickly. The putting it in.
I'm also not worried about preserving his ability to have a new one attached. Let's say I'm
Okay.
doing the drunken carver method when it comes to preserving the flesh.
It's
I
a
just don't want it bleeding.
DV17,
Okay.
so you do succeed.
So it's a little bit of a rush job, though.
Yeah, it's... Look, he's not going to bleed out of the wound. You made sure of that. But you also sort of didn't really make it easy for anybody else to implant a new arm in
No.
Sentino.
That's his Mr. White tax for putting my name in his mouth when he shouldn't have.
And the arm begins here. So about, like, I don't know, 7 inches off the shoulder. And covers everything down.
That works. That works. So once that's... once we get there, I'm assuming it'll be mostly done.
Yeah, but before we move to getting there, I would just like to know, Reno, Jinx, and Jimenez. So I know Jinx took the other car in the garage. Reno, I figure she took the car after she got you, you fell out of the window. So I would like to know, Reno, are you also in the RV with everybody else?
I think it makes most sense if I'm with Jinx, considering we're all trying to leave, like, as quickly as possible. So I'm probably with Jinx.
Okay. So that discussion earlier, which I assume, especially for Jinx, was over the your radio.
Yeah.
All right. So Reno and Jinx are in the Nomad car. Is there anything that you would like to do? You're following the RV, trying to make sure that none of the NCPD checkpoints separate you too much from the other car. You would have enough time while sitting in this car to notice how barren the inside is. How bare it is. They've taken away, like, a lot of the high-tech features that you would find in a modern car. So this car basically drives like a car in 2020. There is no neural link interface to it. There's no... Like, you almost have to roll down the windows yourself type thing. And the passenger seat, the front passenger seat, is loose. And so throughout the ride, whoever's sitting in it needs to sort of hold themselves like on a motorcycle. Because otherwise, the moment Jinx breaks, the seat is just going to go flying head first.
Okay.
It's a
I
ride.
can do this. Did I make a roll for that?
No, but you can both make a perception roll, except that Jinx is going to have a -4 because she's driving.
Yeah, that's fine. I can keep out most of the eye. Yeah, that's fine. Get my calculator.
I got a
10.
Perception. It's 5 plus 6 plus 13.
With a 10, unfortunately, Jinx has to pay attention to the road around. But with a 13, you notice in the dashboard there's about the size of half of a glove compartment. There's a hole that has been quickly patched up with a welded or shoddily welded piece of metal. Which, you know, at first glance doesn't seem to be anything special, but like as the car bumps and moves around, you notice that there is definitely something behind it, something that blinks.
I'm really hoping it's not a tracker.
Yeah.
Does it look like it's pull outable? Like, can I, do I think I'm strong enough to bend this bar? I got a robot arm. I don't know if that gives me.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna
slightly
say
better,
you're.
like,
Yeah, you're
endurance.
Reno. You probably could. What's your body stat?
High. That's my highest, I think. My body. Oh, it's at a 7 actually. Not as high as I thought.
Yeah, you're fairly certain you could rip it apart.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like, feet on the dashboard, I guess. Get some leverage and just try and bend this thing a bit, pull it off entirely.
When you open it, you notice inside the hole. So this installation wasn't finished, right? They've begun modifications to the Scar without, or maybe it was the Nomads before them that had begun something of a change in the car. And Santino's gang didn't really bother with it, or they weren't at that stage of whatever chopping they were doing. But it looks like a cyber deck. Basically like a small mix of a laptop and a router. A box with multiple connectors, a few buttons. They're all connected through wires in the car. And you even notice that these wires all go through, when you pull the deck out, go through a small metal pipe onto the bottom of the car. You also notice, by the way, removing this metal plate, that you can, if you just lean forward a bit, you can see the street under the car.
I'm not even gonna tell Jinx. I'm just letting it happen. Just don't freak out. Don't freak out. Just let her drive. So when you say deck, what does that mean again? What is a deck?
I think the best would be to find a picture of one.
Okay. I remember having one of those before, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's here, I think this, I mean, it's a homemade one IRL. I'll post it in our Discord.
Okay.
So you see what it looks like. Come on. Oh, my files are too powerful. Really? Oh, Jesus. Give me 2 seconds. Try it with this one. Let's go. There we go. Here's one.
Oh, okay. Okay. So okay.
So it's sort of like it opens up like a laptop, but it doesn't have, the standard like keyboard and mouse that you would normally interface with. It's got very limited buttons.
Okay.
And normally they're programmed a bit like a programmable like Stream Deck or something. So everything has been pre-programmed into these buttons.
And it wasn't attached to anything. It was just behind this kind of grill.
No, it's actually attached. Well, the deck itself is attached to all these wires that go under the car through the metal pipe.
Don't panic. I think this might be tracking us.
Okay, when I see it, do I know what it is, etc., etc.?
It's a control deck for a car. Meaning that whoever is controlling the deck, like has the deck on them, can also, to some extent, pilot the car.
Oh.
Without being in the driver's seat. You've seen those before in, not in Nomad cars, mostly in like higher end vehicle, like very high tech limousines, where basically you would It almost makes it like a self-driving car, if you will. You could almost do it that way, where you would just like enter your destination and then sit back, you know, at the back of the car and enjoy the ride, and have like a decoy as a driver. So if, you know, someone wants to shoot the driver, they just shoot at the decoy while you're actually controlling the car from the back seat.
So electronics isn't my forte. I'm more hands-on stuff. But I'm assuming we might know like a modicum about decks. Is there a way for me to like plug my agent in and like download its like a mem dump kind of thing?
Sure. I'll ask you a basic tech check.
Yeah, sure. Tech is probably in intelligence. Probably.
Yeah, it's intelligence.
I'm looking for it right now. Oh no, maybe is it? There's technique. Oh, basic tech. Okay, I see. 2 plus 5 plus and 11.
11. You plug your agent in, and whatever software is in the cyber deck is very user friendly.
Okay.
Because it almost automatically gives you an interface to play with.
She's mostly curious about seeing if she can see where this car has been.
That you don't know.
Okay.
All you see is the labels for each of these buttons.
Okay. And what are the labels for the buttons? What do they say? Do not push.
No,
in case of
actually,
emergency.
One of them is retract wheels. One of them is fold chassis. One of them is shit, what is it? It's activate rotocopter.
Is there a button for Voltron? Is there a Voltron button?
No,
on this
there's no
phone?
Voltron button in it. But yes, it's when you read the labels, you realize that all of these buttons, all these 6 buttons on it, if you press only one, you'll probably damage the car, because you know if you retract wheel while you're driving, you're going to crash.
Right.
But if you do press all of them in sequence, this Nomad car, as far as you're concerned, turns into a gyrocopter, a tiny rotorcraft favored by flying enthusiasts. It's a 2-person vehicle. Think of it sort of like a motorcycle.
I don't know about you,
with.
But I've nearly died before. I could probably do it again.
Okay.
What say we try it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You only live once. YOLO.
You only
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I forgot the names of the buttons. So there's
If you
crunch the chassis.
Yeah, basically you have to press like each of them. There's no like set. It's not a riddle or anything. If you
It's
just
not a
tell
riddle
me
or
like
anything.
I'm
Okay. Yeah, yeah, let's do it. Fuck, why the fuck not?
From your rear view mirror, Trins, you don't know exactly what's going on in the Nomad car. They must have hit a very steep speed bump, because the car basically bounces up. And as it does, you notice that the wheels retract very quickly. You've seen that in some cars that turn into aero cars. Except once the wheels do this, the moment they hit like under the car, the entire car splits open, like it's losing its entire body. You see Reno and Jinx next to each other, almost midair, as this like helicopter blades jut out of where the backseat should be.
And if you look very closely, there is definitely like a girl power fist bump. Just.
Wait. Are you sure it was completed? Because they guys didn't do jack shit right. They didn't do shit right. Oh my god, they didn't do shit. Like, that's literally running through Trin's head. She's like, oh wait, that's shiny. I want the shiny. Oh, I know what those guys were doing.
Oh, it's so hard to click.
We'll see.
I can't fix it if I'm not in it.
The backseat falls onto the road, onto another car. So does the trunk. Yeah, the trunk of the car is just lost. Like, it's supposed to transform, but these guys have been, like, chopping this car apart. As this is all happening, normally on a gyrocopter, like, the two seats are like on a motorcycle, right? One in front, one in back. But none of the seats are moving backwards. And
well, that's good.
Reno feels herself fall slowly onto the side. What do you do?
I am going to. Is there anything like? I mean, I got a pretty strong arm. I'm gonna just like hook it into anything that I can find. Like maybe there's something on the roof, like, or you know, like the little oh shit handles on the side of the car. Just hook my hand in there.
You hold yourself onto the side of the gyrocopter as it takes flight. I'm gonna need Jinx to roll an air vehicle check.
Don't wreck us. Don't wreck us.
I don't have air vehicle.
You don't have air vehicle? No. Then you're gonna have to make a roll without the skill.
Okay. But it's
roll high.
I don't remember which stat is used for air vehicle.
Reflexes.
Reflexes, okay.
It's pilot air vehicle is what it's listed under.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an expensive skill too.
Fancy.
So that's a 1.
Oh my god.
So
we're
can you
going
roll
to
another
die.
d10?
We are going to die.
abandoned ship.
Yeah, that's a 5. It feels so fun for half a second to fly.
Whoa, wait, can she use luck?
She can. She has a 5. I don't know how much luck she wants to pump into it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I know. Because the way you're describing it, technically, how far high up are we? We're not that high up.
No, you're like right now maybe like at most 8 feet high.
Okay, so we can just like literally jump out.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, that or crash and burn. I'll look at Reno. I'm like, I think we should abandon ship.
You know, it was fun while it lasted.
This is a Thelma and Louise moment.
So
Can I slow the RV down?
they would crash onto the back of the RV.
No, what I want to do is slow the RV down for them to fall on top of the RV and then speed up so that the rest of it falls. So they don't have to fall as far.
I'd say it will
Because I
take...
can see this happening.
Yeah, it will take a very high drive check simply because they're out of control. If they were in control, you could just slow down and move yourself to be underneath them when it happens. But right now, they're zigzagging unpredictably as the gyrocopter is about to fall. So you could try a line vehicle check.
Do you want help in this? I think Trinz is gonna try and help. She's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Grab the control system. I want the control system. Is her other shout out. Because she's Trinz. I'm gonna hold that if I need it, but I hope. Fuck no, this is not gonna work. Wait, hold on. A 14.
Do you put...
Can I get out of, can I see that it's not going to work and get out of the way?
You've already engaged.
Okay.
And so here's how it works out. Trinz tries to put the RV under Jinx and Reno. You can almost, especially Reno, whose feet are dangling in the air, you can almost put your feet on the top of the RV. Unfortunately, the a gust of wind comes from between two buildings and destabilizes the gyrocopter, who promptly flies to the other side of the street. You crash into the side of a bodega and fall down, taking, without armor, 3 points of damage.
It's fine. It's fine. Just a little bruise. It's alright.
The gyrocopter thing is a mess of just broken steel wires and engine.
Trinz does a hard stop and runs to check, Reno, Jinx, you okay? You okay? Smile, nod, yay.
Okay.
Ow.
Okay, good. And then she's going over and trying to pull as many things apart of this as she can.
White gets on the call and says, "We have an appointment."
I know. I'm just taking the.
No, we have an appointment.
Fine. 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 She's gonna grab the deck up, and then just literally not care and rip it out. She knows that she's rucking wires. She's just ripping it out and then leaving.
You grab a handful of wires and you make your way back into the RV.
Because I'm still doing surgery. It's taken this whole trip for me to be able to do this.
You're a very good surgeon, sir.
You make your way to the designated... I figure, Jinx, Reno, you hop back into the RV.
Yeah.
And I have one last question for Jimenez. As this is happening, is there anything that you want to do?
No, he's just taking it all in.
All right.
This very disastrous quartet of people.
I was thinking he'd be taking a nap. He had a pretty good workout there.
And then, as you make your way to the designated rendezvous point, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after, to see what happens after this gyrocopter incident. This, by the way, was supposed to be Sentino's means of escape. So, See you in a few minutes, everyone. We'll be right back. Hello! We are back, friends. We're back with giveaways. We'll begin our first giveaway of the evening with the PDF of the Cyberpunk Jumpstart Kit. And we are going to... it's going to be a hard one to type. But if you type in !gyrocopter, you will enter the giveaway to win a copy of the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit, which includes all the rules and even pre-made characters that you can use to play the game right away before the book comes out. So if you are interested in winning a copy of the Jumpstart Kit, use !gyrocopter. We'll leave that going for a little bit, and then we'll do the giveaway for the Level Up Dice set. So, the group and the RV stop at the drop-off point. The oil barrel from before is still there. Empty this time.
Nice.
As you look around, you notice that while the place seems rather, not busier or emptier than usual, but there is a car, a silver gray, just like suburban car, sedan. Sorry. Parked a few yards away from you, and you can see the faint light of someone looking at their agent from the driver's seat. They have someone on the passenger seat as well, who is trying their best to look nonchalant. But you can't help but notice this is the only thing that stands out in the area.
Well, yeah, because in the area there aren't other cars that are functional.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I picked it. shit.
Can I line up my scope and see who it is in the car?
There's not enough room for you to pull out a sniper rifle in the RV, but you can like unmount your scope and just look through it. And you would see these two gentlemen. One of them appears to be perhaps Latino in in ethnicity. That's the person looking at their agent. They have short hair, a bit of a stubble, and both of them, however, are dressed in like regular streetwear. And by that I mean like they have a jacket, a shirt underneath. One of them has like a work shirt with a few buttons unbuttoned. The other one, the passenger, seems to just be wearing a t-shirt with like a flashy sign on it, like MAGE. The passenger, by the way, has their hair dyed black and green. They don't have very long... Yeah, no, I meant more like black with green highlights in it. But anyway, they have short hair, like tousled on their head. They look much younger than the driver. And they are, white, dressed with like the t-shirt and everything. They don't have like binoculars to look at things around, but they do keep staring at the RV, and you're pretty sure that they are looking at you when you look at them.
Okay, well, I described the two for everybody.
With your scope, you would realize that this second person, this younger person, has a lot of scar tissue along his right eye up to his right ear. Reminiscent of, multiple implants being installed one after the other on that side of their face.
And a cheap surgeon. Does any of the description meet any of the go gangs that I know of in the area? Any of the colors, symbols, that sort of thing?
Actually, no. They don't look like gangers. They actually look more like your edge runners. You're used to that. Even Trins would have seen those from her days in the NCPD. They look more like undercover cops. They are so bland. They are so somewhat nondescript that they could blend in just about any crowd.
I'll snap a photo with my agent and send it off with the burner that I have for Kiyoshi, and send it off to Kiyoshi and be like, "These yours?"
Kiyoshi sends a thumbs up emoji.
All right. I'll just be like, I think they're with Kiyoshi. So, we'll drop off Santino here. I'll give him a little bit of stimulant to make sure he's will not officiate on his own tongue or anything before we leave. And then we can go about our business and come back later to collect the dough.
When you get out of the RV, who's carrying Santino?
I can. That's fine. I'm happy to do that work.
You get out of the RV holding Santino, and the moment your feet touch the ground outside, the moment that someone outside of the RV would see that you're carrying a body,
Mm-hmm.
all four doors of that silver car open.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 people come out, which is strange because there was only 2 when Jinx looked into it.
Are they rushing or are they walking?
They are walking. You notice that one of them is actually Kiyoshi-san.
Ah.
The person next to Kiyoshi-san is a rather formidable person. A clearly a security expert. I would say probably plucked off the streets. You don't have the picture in Roll20 at the moment, but I can definitely describe them as this white-haired fellow with a completely cybered up left arm, to the point where there is, like, they didn't even hide the flesh. Both of their legs from the knees down are also cyber legs. And he is wearing on his right arm a sort of a big bracelet with a or armlet, I should say, with what is it? Sort of like a vital sign indicator on it. Like, you've seen that before in hospitals and everything, but it seems to be related directly to him, with cables that go from the armlet up to inside his hand. He has 2 pistols strapped to his hip and his thigh, and looks, the moment they come out, like a professional killer. Sweeps the location, looks around very quickly, looks at the car, and you're pretty sure he just assessed, like, all the weak points, how he would be able to disable the car if you were trying to run away. Kiyoshi-san is smiling. He has a like a brown envelope, if you will, thicker in his hands, and doesn't seem to be carrying any weapons on his person. And the 2 others also come out of the car, and these 2 are beelining straight for you, Mr. White. They're not running, they're walking slightly faster, but they're going towards you and Centino. What
like
do the
ladies in the mall.
I've never heard that one. So, what do the 4 of you do when you see that happening from the comfort of your RV?
I think Trins would get out, and kind of walk around the driver's side door, and she would greet Kiyoshi in Japanese, almost formally.
Kiyoshi will just nod. He doesn't bow in any way.
And expect him to.
He replies in Japanese, good to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't acknowledge, like, your what you just said.
No, she's okay with that. But she figures she's been polite, and people have been telling her she needs to be more polite. So she's done her politeness, and now she's focused on all the shiny.
Reno, Jinx, and Eminence. Sorry, what do you do as these people are getting out of the car?
I am, as always, mistrusting of corporations. I've got my hand on my pistol, not in a threatening way, but just, I'm ready. I'm sticking to the back, just kind of Hawkeye's watching them. Watching them. Yep.
Watching?
Watching.
Okay.
Watching and waiting.
Excuse me, did you get out of the RV?
Yeah, I'll get out.
Okay.
If we're all getting out of the RV, I'll because I'm, I'm one of the muscle of the group.
No problem.
In case we need protection.
What about the other 2?
Jimenez is still in Justice Mime outfit and is just standing behind Trins.
All right. And
I'll come up beside the arena.
okay. Are you armed?
I probably grabbed one of the pistols off my bike, but I don't have my snipers in the RV.
Okay. You all get out of the RV, and you notice the bodyguard, which, by the way, his picture is now up on Roll20, under opponents. He looks at each of you in turn, and his hand is drawn closer to both his hands closer to both of his pistols. But Kiyoshi just turns, and you can see him mouth something very subtly, and the bodyguard relaxes. Well, by relaxes, I mean he's just as alert as he was earlier, but without his hands near his pistols. The other two will walk up to Mr. White and say, "We'll handle it from here." And they take Sentino.
That's fine. I got no qualms with that. I'll look at Kiyoshi and say, "Hey, you saved me a trip to an oil barrel."
I spoke with my supervisors.
Yeah, it seems like you were pretty convincing.
You were pretty convincing, Dr. Frost.
Mm-hmm.
I trust this is your whole operation here.
This is everyone that was involved with Santino, yeah. I'm a guy who knows guys. To say it's my whole operation would be really underselling what I do, and you would notice that that's a lie.
But these are the 5... Well, you are the 5 people who we have to thank for the destruction of the IEC compound in Night City.
Oh, I don't know about that. I was pretty sure there was some disgruntled employee, ran out of money, needed to find something to do, and wanted to get Arasaka's attention by doing sending them a gift.
Which is
least
almost
that's
what
the
we're
rumor.
going to run with. Now, he waits for the 2 others to ditch Sentino in the trunk of the silver car and come back. And he holds the envelope to the older one. And the older one takes the envelope, like black, sleek, the size of a brown envelope. No, Kiten, I'm talking. And he gets a bundle of paper out and hands it to each one of you. He's not quite sure how to approach the justice mime, but he holds the paper out nonetheless, just like at slightly more distance.
I just turn to him and say, hand gestures. He speaks in hand gestures. Use your hands. Gesticulate.
He taps the paper and points to Jimenez.
Jimenez just does this and takes the paper.
And he goes back with the envelope. You notice that the moment he turns his back to all of you, there is something protruding from his spine all the way across his back. Reno and Jinx would have probably seen this before as a hidden sheath for a sword. Something that you can normally conceal under a coat, but he's just wearing almost like a windbreaker, so it's not thick enough to hide it. But it seems that everyone in here is armed.
I'm not surprised.
Looking at the papers, you would see that they are, at first glance, a threat and an agreement. Kiyoshi goes on to explain that it is in the best interest of Arasaka to not resort to our old methods of doing things. I've been able, thanks to your help, and he looks at Mr. White, to sway my supervisors into removing the bounty from your heads. And he gauges your reaction.
I give him my excited face.
Okay.
I'm assuming that that wasn't the punchline, that you have more to say, so I'm just waiting politely.
We normally do not let loose ends run around Night City. Especially not loose ends with loose lips, but you have proven to be quiet and professional.
I was about to say, who's been talking other than the guy in the trunk and whoever he's been talking to that went around putting a bounty on our head? Do you understand how difficult that makes my job when people are associating me with a job like that?
We at Arasaka, with all due respect, do not care about your side job, Mr. White.
I'm talking about everything that I do. I
Well-
understand you don't care, but I understand that you know how reputations work.
Oh,
sir.
yes. On
And
that,
when
we understand.
someone starts running their mouth and convinces people of things that they need not convince people of, that complicates things. Makes it really hard to keep doing the work. Because personally, Kiyoshi-san, I'd prefer that you get all the credit. I don't want to be known for doing anything. I just want enough money to keep doing what I'm doing and being able to pay off the people I need to pay off to make sure the people that can't afford it can get the medical care they need.
What about your friends here? Any
They've
of
got-
you four have dreams of ambitions?
Jimenez is actually going to speak at this point. I do, but they don't involve Arasaka.
Oh, well said. You didn't even use your hands this time.
Trins has been staring at the bodyguard nonstop and like has the piece of paper in her hand, glances at it, does a quick read through, goes back to looking at the bodyguard and kind of like cocks her head and goes, "Are you always off center weight by about 5 grams? Because it looks like you're about 5 grams heavy on the back end." And she's just like not paying attention to any of the rest of the conversation.
You notice that the bodyguard he very, very quickly looks at you. Like his eyes just shift to you and then to the rest of the group. Make a human perception check.
You know what? I'll I'll spend like 3 luck or 4 luck to make that a 19.
It was brief and very subtle, but you could see in his eyes, he does not speak English. He didn't understand a single... Like, he knew you were talking to him because of where you were directing your voice, but he did not understand a single word. And he's trying to not make it any, like, make it look like he has a weakness.
Yeah, and I think this is Trin's, so she immediately goes, "Oh no, wait, you didn't understand me. I A, must be a good Italian and speak louder, and B, switch languages." So then she just repeats it again in Japanese at a louder volume.
And he shifts his weight just a little. Reno and Jinx, do you answer Mr. Kiyoshi?
Not a word.
I'm assuming that this is like, and she kind of glances at it. What is the paper that she's looking at?
To paraphrase what the paper says, basically from this point on, you can no longer claim the events of IEC as your own doing. You cannot speak of your methods, of what you saw, of who helped you. Basically, this never happened, and if you were to be asked about it, you have no idea how someone would do something like that. Which also means denying that you have the abilities to pull off what happened at IEC. If any of this, and this is like the threat of the paper, if for some reason word goes out that the story, and I'll tell you what the official story is in a second, because it's detailed in the papers, but if word goes out that the official story is not what happened, the blame will be put on you first by Arasaka, and you will have to bear the consequences. The official story is that Carson Tyler, Centino, and that other dude. So, the story that Mr. White spun earlier this season, that, disgruntled employee got fired, wanted to get back. He went to Tyler, ex-NCPD officer, for the demolition, the explosives. And Centino was the one who blew up the whole place because he knew about, structural integrity of cars and buildings. And, I think if there was a linchpin in their thing, it might be this. But then again, Centino is not known enough in Night City that anyone could say, like, oh yeah, this guy is not known for that. Like, they'd probably just say, like, who? So it's this group of unknown agents who, through luck, mostly, destroyed IAC. And because this Carson Tyler, disgruntled NCPD agent, was still part of the NCPD before, when that happened, it means that the NCPD, in a way, are not neutral. They've taken a side. At least one of their people took a side. And that's, you kind of glean through those papers, like, that's how they got Barrett Engineering to take a hold of the NCPD. Through probably blackmail about their... And there must have been other things that happened. But like that, you can clearly see them making a grab for the NCPD because of that. So the TLDR is You don't say a word about what happened. You have no idea what happened at IEC aside from like the official story, which will be published in the scream sheets. And if ever someone wants to ask you to replicate something that happened at IEC, you would have to deny being able to do so. Which would mean, in game terms, taking a penalty to your reputation.
I have
Oh
a
no,
question.
I don't have a work reference now.
I have a out of game question.
Yes.
Have any of us said anything publicly outside of the 5 of us about what happened?
No. No, what they want is basically if someone else says something, you're gonna have to go after that person and you're gonna have to shut them up. They are making sure that the story remains what it is because you're essentially going to be contractually obligated to shut people up about it.
So,
this is-
basically what this contract is exactly what we've been doing the entirety of season 2 and
Yes.
what our goal has been.
Yep.
But they want it in writing.
Yep.
And
I
I
already
think-
did that for IEC. What makes you think that I don't? What's going to make me think that they won't do the same? That blah blah blah. I can't even talk today. What makes you think that? Someone else talk, please. Someone
Okay.
else. Someone else talk. I can't do it.
So I'm a little confused here, Mr. Kiyoshi. What we have here in front of me, or what I'm reading through here, is basically everything that we've been doing for months. Low profile, shutting down rumors, and then when people go out of their way, and he kind of glances at the car behind them, to try and mess all of that up, we went out of our way to solve the issue.
Indeed.
And you all just want it in writing? Because, like, we figured a company like Arasaka would squash us in a second if they didn't want us around. So I didn't think for a second that this threat here is actually necessary. However, every single rumor that might be out there, I don't know any way to keep tabs on all of that. I'm not connected like that, Mr. Kiyoshi. There's a lot of drug heads out there that'll say whatever they want in order to try and get their next hit.
Yes.
But if they put my name in their mouth, then I have something to talk to them about.
The booster gangs and the dredges of Night City are of no import to Arasaka. They're well beneath us. Not that we don't keep tabs on everything that happens. But the expenses required to deal with these pests do not benefit Arasaka in the long run. As you said,
Understandable.
they will say anything for a hit. They will say anything to keep
Boost their rep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is understandable. This is not what we meant or what my supervisors mean
Okay.
by this.
So which rumors do you want us to keep quiet? Journalists, that kind of thing.
Yes. And even other corps. If word gets out that you are able to discreetly eliminate a mid-sized corporation's holdings in Night City, then you become a little more interesting to my supervisors.
If word comes out that that happens, and some other corp, not even Arasaka, finds out, if they have any sort of interest and don't want to take chances, they'll probably try and kill me in my sleep. I don't have any reason to ever want them to have my name in their mouth.
Exactly.
There's only one reason I like dealing with you. You're a man of honor. I know that. That's why when I caught wind of that ceremonial sword, I made sure it got put back. Now, what I found out later is that someone desecrated it, and that was long after I ever even heard about it. That still upsets me. Because those kinds of things matter. That's what motivates people. I know how to motivate people. That's how you get things done. I have no problem with this. But I can't take out Militech. None of us can. We had help from some very important people. And he just kind of like stares at Kiyoshi for a second. And we had a lot of luck. That story fits. But this story in here has holes. Any journalist that looks into the demo expert is going to know that that's not luck, that he's not an amateur. As soon as they find out who he is, and you're going to have to expose him in order to make this stick, you can't say it was amateurs. He had to have been the ringleader because he's the one with all the connections. He's the one with the reputation. Heck, when I found out it was him, I was like, I want this dude out of my hair, which is why I asked if it would be of benefit to you. Because if he was going to be running around in these go gang streets, messing with the small fish, which he was, that was going to be a big liability. Someone like that, way too skilled. Now, older, yeah, maybe lost a step, but you don't lose those kinds of skills that fast. So there's going to have to be a little bit of revision here if you want to make it believable. But that's just putting my sleuthing hat on. Because I like to find out things. I like to trade in information. This information is good, but it's got holes. That's the biggest one.
Kiyoshi-san smirks and says, "Are you sure you would not want to have a position at Arasaka, Mr. White?"
Nothing official, never. Because that puts a big bullseye on me. I'd rather not even be known that we even saw each other face to face twice now. Because it was a lot more productive when it was just you and me and some bad tea in a quiet room while there was a ruckus outside. A lot of work got done there. That's how I prefer to operate.
Before he continues, I just want to say, EKYN, you've won the giveaway. If you can send me a message by Twitch or by Twitter DM with your email address, I will forward that to Artalsorian so you can get your hands on your Jumpstart kit. Kiyoshi-san continues saying, "This story will be revised to make sure that everything fits in place. We have a history of making sure that our traces are erased."
I know. That's why I was curious as to why that one was overlooked.
But because of your... Well, it's more of a DM mistake.
Oh, that's fine.
But because of what occurred with the bounty hunters, and he motions to the trunk of his car, and this one. "My superiors want to ensure that any of our contractors in the future are bound by actual contracts and not word of mouth."
I can understand that. It just feels like a breach of trust, if you understand where I'm coming from.
I am not in a position to argue on this, Mr. White.
Well, I'm not asking you to argue. I just want to make sure we have a mutual understanding.
We do. I appreciate what you've done for me a lot. And I may have use of you in the future.
And I, again, want to stress, all of those were gifts. None of that has any obligation, okay? But there's no cash with this. Is that still coming? If we sign these?
Yes.
Do we get a bonus for signing these willingly? Maybe throw in the tech that you guys offered?
Oh, Jesus, this is so much work for €1,000. Why are we here agreeing to something that we were already doing? Fucking pedantic motherfuckers.
It's bureaucracy.
Also, I can't sign this.
Why?
Okay, for 2 reasons. Number one, it's not valid. It's under duress. So I could sue you for a breach of contract and it's not valid. It's under duress. Also, economic duress counts as duress. My dad taught me well. I ran my own shop. Number 2, you want me to lie about something? Like, if I know something, I can't lie about it. Like, somebody's going to ask me if I know how to take down a building. The answer is yes.
But
I
you
also
just
know how to do a lot of things.
don't talk about how you can do it the way we did it. If you talk about what can be easily found on the internet about any sort of city-based contractor that would do a normal derelict demolition crew, and you refer to it in that way, you are not in breach of contract. Am I right?
You will have to deny that you have the skills and the know-how to pull what happened at IEC.
Okay, now see, okay, Mr. Kiyoshi-san, I has a problem. I can't, and she looks at him and then looks at the others and then very kindly turns and like holds the contract out and goes, yeah. I can tell people that I didn't do it because nobody would believe me that I did it. But if you want me to say that I don't know how to do something, like I can sit here and tell you that I don't know how to rip the strip the tires off your car in 20 seconds, that's bullshit because I do. And I can't lie about it. Like literally, I can't lie about it.
You are going to have to learn how to lie if you want to survive in Night City, miss.
I mean, duh, I've lived here my whole life. But I've never lied about shit.
Then I suggest you begin.
Can you just not answer? Just shrug your shoulders and be like,
He wants me to tell me that I can't do something.
no, he said deny it.
Yes, as in
Just
I
don't
would not
answer.
be able to do something.
So just don't answer. Then you're not saying you can't do it. You're just not answering. Accuse them of being an undercover cop and trying to get you arrested for illegal activities. And shoo them out of wherever it is, because that's probably who it is.
I know all the undercover cops.
Then pretend that they are impersonating an undercover cop. I don't know.
And she literally looks at Jigs like, I can't do this.
I mean, lying about not having done it, that's simple. That's simple shit. But I feel like this is tying us down. Like,
I think it's a non-issue. Just sign the darn things and wash our hands of Arasaka and we're done. Who cares if people want to know if we could blow up a building? Big deal. There are a number of other people that they can talk to about that.
yeah, but if I want to blow something up, I'm gonna blow it up.
Yeah,
Well-
fine. You can go blow it up, but don't go around talking about how you did this before at Arasaka. For fuck's sake, doesn't anybody really understand the heart of the matter here?
Oh, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I can't sign a contract that says I'm going to lie.
You're not lying. You're just twisting the truth.
It's like lying.
That's not
You're-
lying. God, it's
You're just omitting facts and you're being really pedantic about this.
She will literally take the contract, very angrily stride forward towards Kiyoshi and say, I need a pen, sir.
And Kiyoshi would open his jacket a bit and get a pen out and hand it to you.
She would take it, look at it, double check that, it's actually a pen.
Yeah.
And, and isn't like a James Bond pen.
No, it's not a James Bond explosive.
And then, with a big flourish, sign it, fold it, hand it to him, and in perfect Japanese and say, and now you have caused me to dishonor my family, so I will never speak to you again. And she turns and literally walks away and gets in the car and shuts the door and says nothing to anyone else the rest of it. She keeps the pen.
Reno will begrudgingly sign it.
Kiyoshi-san says she has his own over on that. She has the only pen. Unless you have one on yourself,
Yeah.
Jimenez carries a pen.
Great. I sign it, but I look at him as I sign it and say, just know I can, I'll find a way to take you down just as easy as I took down IEC. Fuck me on this.
He just smiles and nods courteously. What about the other three?
Jimenez signs the contract, and then he folds it into a paper airplane and just flies it at Kiyoshi before turning and walking back.
One of the goons is gonna go rushing after it, try to grab it.
And if we don't sign this thing?
It means that you're a loose end. That was the original threat.
Oh, okay.
So this gets the bounty off our heads, and we're no longer a loose end. We can go back to operating in anonymity.
Chinks grabs a pen somewhere and signs
I'll
the
hand you
fucking
one
thing.
if you want one.
Yeah, and she'll sign it. She'll give it to him.
He takes it. And what about Mr. White?
He'll sign it.
Okay.
And he'll say, I have no problem keeping on my end. Just as long as we all understand that I would have done it anyway. Because it doesn't benefit me to let that happen. Doesn't benefit any of us.
I understand that your team, most of your team, is much more professional than other contractors that Arasaka has had to deal with in the past, but I am not the one making the decisions.
Oh, I know that. I know it doesn't come from you. You're the messenger. I get it. Not that your station is that low, but in this instance, you were given a job to deliver a message, and you've done as much. So, I don't worry about that piece. I knew that Arasaka would take an interest in some way, shape, or form after we met. I'm just glad that we were able to find some way to be professional about it. And he'll nod at the others, kind of like acknowledging that they're there for the first time.
He nods. Takes all the papers. Doesn't necessarily fold them because most of them are folded, but puts them back in his jacket. Snaps his fingers, and the group go into the car. And you would notice when you're looking at the car, When they sit in the back seat, you don't see anyone in the back seat when looking through the front windshield. And the two other goons will sit where they sat before. And the silver car backs up and leaves. Leaving the 5 of you in the RV.
At which point I'll actually text him from the burner and be, no cash?
Oh,
Question mark.
yeah, I forgot. The money would be deposited in the same account that he paid you with the first time that you worked for.
Which was
site.
cash.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
cash. I thought it was the electronic. Yeah, then he would have one of the goons hand you a briefcase full of dollars.
So some small bills makes it easy to spend. 5K is not that much if it's big bills. So, all right.
We're gonna skip ahead for the conclusion of our second season by a couple of days, or as much time as you need for this epilogue scene. After the events of, the road trip outside of Night City, the bounties on your head, the frantic running around trying to figure out why people are after you and what happened, the fight with Santino. Where do we find Trends?
Come back to that.
Where do we find Jinx?
Well, she's probably back out on the road doing jobs and stuff. And traveling, because she needs to move around. So she'll probably have given her number to like everybody and be like, you can reach me anytime. It's just I'll be on the road. So I'll probably leave a key with Reno in case she needs to get in my apartment for anything.
Jokes on you, I already had a key to your apartment. I'm the superintendent.
That's true.
She's
So,
she's also stalking you, but shh.
Yeah, but we won't. So yeah, she's probably on the road doing jobs and she's racing and making some money.
Where would we find Reno?
Pissed off. Is where you would find Reno. She is not happy that she assigned her life away, essentially, or how she feels it is, to yet another corp. So she's kind of wondering how the fuck she ended up in this situation once again. And she has been busy doing a lot of research on Arasaka as much as she can. Darknet kind of stuff. Because she knows a little bit about them just like on the surface level, but since she's clearly in bed with them now, she wants to know everything as much as possible.
All right. Trends?
So it's like what, a couple days later?
If you want. Could be a couple weeks, could be it's an
Okay.
undetermined amount of time after the events at the...
I think it's about a week later, and Trins has finally gotten Carter out of his apartment and is pulling apart the floor, and she's resetting it so that it's like making the entire main room a shower drain system so that you can just like literally hose off whatever comes out of there so there's no more bleeding into the hallway. in causing mess. And she's talking to and Jimenez is there to help her because Jimenez and Trins have been working on the plumbing setup, and like she's like half into the floor trying to get a pipe set up, and she's like got a hand behind her, and she like waiting for the tool, and once he like puts the tool in her hand, she goes, so you said something and that's cool, but you didn't ask me anything, and so are you not going to ask me anything? It's like if my brother's intimidating, he's not.
Well, no, I'm not scared of your brother. I mean, let's be real.
Okay, that's good. That's fair.
Yeah. So I got a show tonight. Would you like to go?
I was going to go to your show. I always go to your shows.
Yeah, I know, but this time around you can come backstage.
Okay. So is this like a friend thing?
No. I don't just bring friends backstage.
Okay. So you're asking me on a date?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Okay, sure. But we're not drinking coffee. You're finding something else.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You don't need to drink coffee with me.
Yeah, I get this whole promotional thing. That's fine, but like something else.
Yeah, whatever you want.
And she like pulls her head back and like smirks and he goes, whatever I want?
Yeah, that's kind of how these things work.
Cool. Did you know that there are straight Jolt Colas? And she just kind of smiles and then goes back to working on the...
He goes, yeah, and Jimenez is just thinking about all the Jolt Cola spots that air with the episodes of Night City Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Where would we find... Well, let's move to Jimenez. Where would we find Jimenez?
So we'll cut to the television. Let's say that, I don't know, Reno or Mr. White are watching the show on TV. And you see a really angry Thunder Twin storming around the ring. And you just hear the announcer go, "Ed, we're back, and we brought you back to this match where one of the Thunder Twins is awaiting his opponent for tonight. Let's recap what happened to bring us to this point." And so they show a clip of the Thunder Twins standing in the ring, yelling and jeering, and talking trash about Fiona and Jimenez. And Jimenez just comes out with Fiona and just says, I guess you guys are angry. And I just don't think it was really cool that you caused me to miss and forfeit my first match here in Night City Wrestling. So I don't care which one of you I see next week, but it's just one-on-one in the ring. And, you just see him pause there waiting for a response. And then one of the Thunder Twins say, well, no, we're not going to fight you. We don't have to fight you. And so Menez just does a signal, and then you suddenly see a deluge of iced coffee fall on the ring and drench everybody there. And one of the twins just gets mad, starts sputtering, and demands a towel. And when a towel gets thrown into the ring and it gets unfurled, you see on the towel is a picture of Fiona and Jimenez posed on it. So another piece of merchandise, and that just sets them off even more. And one of them finally accepts that challenge. And so the match goes pretty well. It's sort of a teaser match. It's just a back and forth. No real heavy, hard-hitting moves happen. It's just a real good display of agility and chain wrestling that you don't see very often currently in the wrestling world, because it's very old school and not a lot of people do it anymore. But then the finish is that Jimenez threw one of the Thunder Twins into the referee. And when the referee got knocked out, Jimenez crawls out of the ring, picks up a chair, and crawls back into the ring. And he looks like he's about to hit his opponent with it, but sees the referee is getting up. So he just slams the chair into the mat, make a loud clanging noise, and then throws the chair to the Thunder Twin, who catches it. And Jimenez just fake falls backwards unconscious. So then the referee just looks and sees the scene and just rings the bell and awards Jimenez the win for a disqualification.
This is so underhanded. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to say that this is sort of the moment that he really arrives in professional wrestling. I think the fans just really dug it. Fiona, not so much. But yeah, and so start of his new journey.
There are currently a bunch of people at the Forlorn Hope watching the show on TV and cheering for their local idol, Jimenez. But before I go back into that, Mr. White, where would we find you?
Well, over this amount of time, you see him doing normal runs with Trauma Team. He would have gone and met with the good lady, Dr. Bianca, and made her dinner as promised. All fresh ingredients, same kind of stuff that he normally eats. He just do it for two this time. And as his paying, for the wall would have been fixed anyway, but paying for the inconvenience that befell her. And after that, he would mostly be spending a lot of his time talking to two people, Alt, and having Alt help him discern patterns and learn how to break down the files that he had acquired from IEC, specifically the ones that would help her get a new body. And then he'd also be talking to the librarian. And he'd call up the librarian and say, "So, you know that favor you asked of me? I'm willing to grant it." However, it's going to take prototype equipment, and we're probably going to have to make most of the parts ourselves. So you and the Brainiacs are going to have to put in some work to help me track down what we need. It's the only way it's going to work.
I will get the team on it.
The other thing is, you have to show up weekly to therapy. Because if you and I don't have a talk to make sure you're stable, this whole thing is just going to end up with your brain fried. And then that's no good for anybody. Also, you keep my name out your mouth when it comes to this. Nobody knows what's going on. anybody finds out, we have to silence them. Even if it's one of your own. This is all experimental. And I don't want any regulations. I don't want anyone coming after my license. I don't want any of that nonsense. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Any complaints about that? You seem to be at a loss for words.
It's the end of a long journey.
Are you talking about the upgrade? Or is there something else that I should know about?
No, the upgrade. I'm finally going to be who I am.
We will help you realize who you truly are, but it will take time and resources. And I'm more than happy to help make this happen.
I will do anything.
Perfect. We have ourselves a deal. The first thing I'm going to need is this list. And he shoots over a list that he got from Alt of different types of pots that seem innocent enough, but inside are items, but inside them are all the different pots that we would need for step 1 of redoing his skill jacks and his neural net to be able to handle the rest of it, because we have to stabilize his mind, otherwise it's not going to work. You think you can make that happen?
I will look into it.
Sounds good. If anything on there is too hot or too difficult to find, let me know. I'll see if I know anybody. But the list seemed like something you all, because you guys are knowledge keepers, you've got information about a lot of things that you'd be able to get your hands on.
Sorry, noting something down. Yes.
All right. Now, don't go and get yourself killed over any of this. Seriously, don't get too excited. If it's too dangerous, you let me know. We'll see if there's another way. I can't do this favor for you if you are dead. Fair?
More than fair.
All right. Now, I also have a request that's a paid request. Can you and your boys keep their ears and eyes open for anyone that's putting my name in their mouth that shouldn't be? You hear any wild rumors about things that I'm miraculously doing that you know I don't do? I want to know about it. There was some people spreading some dumb rumors in the last couple months that about got me killed twice. I don't appreciate that. I need to stamp this stuff out. What would that cost me monthly?
I'll get back to you on a price.
All right.
As in, the DM is gonna check.
No, that's fine.
Do a few things, and then,
Yeah, no worries. No rush. Just, and you don't have to be aggressive about it. Just stay actively aware. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you, librarian. He'll hang up. And then he started finding himself needing a breath of fresh air. And so at some point over the course of the last few months after they bought the apartment, one of the first things he did was he worked with Trins on putting in a really high quality water filtration system because it makes the food taste better. So he's also been filling up jugs and sticking it in his fridge. And he takes out a big bottle of water and grabs a glass, and he heads up to the roof. And he sits down and just kind of looks over mostly the side that first gentleman showed up and was taking photos and stuff for WorldSat. He just kind of sits there and looks off into the distance and kind of lets his mind wander.
And we're gonna cut to a scene in The Forlorn Hope. Think of it as if you're from the point of view of someone watching Jimenez on TV. And a beep beep sound comes from the person's arm. They look down at their shiny purple chrome arm and open up an interface on it. And it's just a text message that says, "The game has begun." And as the camera pulls back from the Forlorn Hope, you can hear the sound of gunfire and the flashes of muzzles and the scream of people taken by surprise. And that's where we're gonna end season 2 of Cyberpunk
What the
Red.
fuck is going on? Oh lord. Well.
So, how are you doing, everyone?
Oh, hey, I'm fine. I'm fine. Trends is close to fine.
I hope you had fun.
I did.
There were so many ways everything could have gone. But instead, you pacified Arasaka.
Yeah, because it's a non-enforceable
now.
contract.
They don't care about the legality of it.
I know. But I kind of want to have this.
So,
For those of you who don't know what I've been doing in my day life, it's this. It's literally going to law school and spending lots of time talking, particularly this week, about contracts signed under duress and how they're non-enforceable.
Maybe in America, not Night City.
yeah. That said, thank you everyone for coming. Before we leave, before we do the whole spiel for, you know, our plugs and our socials and everything and what's gonna happen next week, I will also start the second giveaway. Wait, how can I? No, that's not it. Ah, there we go. Our second giveaway for the set of level up dice, aluminum dice. So everyone can enter, players as well. It's open to everyone who wants to partake in, or participate, I should say, in this giveaway. The keyword is !LUD, !LUD to enter in the contest. I'll just do that again. To enter the giveaway. So, we're without further ado, while everyone is entering the giveaway, let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you. What was your favorite moment of Season 2? Let's start with Reno.
Yeah, favorite moment of season 2 by far is Mime Lord Jimenez. Just the best character. He's definitely the coolest one out of all of us. Like, let's be real. He's the coolest. Also, he's going on a hot date now, so that's fun. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm O Adelaide on Twitter and everywhere else. You can find me there. You can find me on Action Fiction's Twitter. I cannot talk today. We just launched our Kickstarter again for the expansion to Monsters of Merca, which is a 5e American parody game. It is fully funded, so you have no worries about it not getting funded. It is being made. We're hitting stretch goals right now. I think our next one is dice or pins. Pretty cool stuff. So we got stuff down the road. So go check that out. If you like funny, you will like this. And that's what I got.
Jimenez, you're next.
Hey, hi everyone. My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I think the next thing I'm going to plug is God, what is up now? Oh yeah. It's Dark Matter, Ghosts of Saltma on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time over on Other Doc's channel and DM'd by Origami Shuriken. So tune in for that as we do a little more. I don't know, what would you call a space dungeon?
A spungin.
A spungin.
A spungin. As we dive into more spungins and such. But let's see, what was my favorite moment of this season? I want to say that it was probably the dinner scene at the Italian cafe. That was money.
Thank you, Jinx. You're up.
Favorite moment. There's too many. I liked it all. I like this game. There you go.
I'm sorry. No, you can't cop out like that.
Okay.
I'm glad
fine.
you said it because I wasn't going to let it slide either.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it doesn't have to be your only favorite moment, just a favorite moment.
Okay. I like Justice Mime and I like the supper. The supper was cool. And I like the gyrocopter.
Oh, the gyrocopter was great. I love that.
That was so us. And I like that Mr. White has found a girl. And that Trins and Jimenez have hooked up. And yeah, there. Is that okay? Do I pass? Anyway, okay. I'm Ran. Plays crazy drinks at Heaven's Night on Twitter and Burns Through the Rain in the Twitch chat, and that's about all I got. And I have amazing rainbow hair now. So there. That's about it.
Thank you, Jinx. Up next is Mr. White.
Hello, Jumbas. I'm Chris Geary. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here for more Cyberpunk Red come, a few weeks from now when we kick off Season 3. You can find me here on Mondays as the host of Adventures in Castle Falkenstein with our puzzle investigators who are out to find the fire that burns underwater. Let's hope they make additional discoveries next week, because we've got 3 weeks left on that one before that season ends. And it will be quite the discovery, I'm hoping.
I thought you were gonna say explosive.
No. It doesn't need to be a bang.
No, we've
that's this
already
game.
banged enough.
Some of you have. Most of you have. Yeah. So moving on.
Lost in Adelaide.
My favorite moment, I would have to say, there's a lot of good ones. The haircut scene was a really good one. And actually having a hairstylist was a really good one. But I think my favorite would have been all the Die Hard quotes that Deirdre was able to work in with her verbal sparring match for for Santino. That is probably the one that took the cake for me. Thelma and Louise, you two were a really close second, but that one would have to take the cake for me. That hasn't been mentioned already.
Thank you, Trins, apparently. Up next is Jimenez. The cameras are all wonky. So, thank you, Mr. Witt. Thank you, Chris. Deirdre, you're next.
Okay, sure, fine. Hey all, this was fun. I love you all. I love this game. I love Trins. I don't know 90% of the time what's going to happen with Trins, and that's fine. It's great. Favorite moment? I love last week throwing in all of those Die Hard quotes. I loved watching Justice Mime. Justice Mime is epic. Also, Jimenez, like, full on shoving a guy's head through the doctor's office window wall. It's just like, and I'm going to walk through this room and nonchalantly just put your head through the drywall.
That was badass.
It's wonderful. I loved everything about this. One other scene that I really enjoyed was also, just because it was fun to do and fun to play with my DM in that way, the scene with Trins and Merc is just the two siblings fighting about whether or not her boyfriend's good enough for her. Which was like, that was just fun. I loved, oh, and call back to the beginning of this season, girls in the RV snack run at the QT. The snack run at the gas station.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
That was just great. Also, the epic save in the gyrocopter, that was fabulous. I loved all of this. This is just so much fun. But as for me, you can find me on here tomorrow for the penultimate episode of Black Flag, our Rapscallion campaign in this season that we are calling Adventures and Consequences. And then Monday, back here for the wonderful fun that is Castle Falkenstein, # team flirting and drinking. And then Wednesday, you can find me over on Laugh Love Lindy's channel for some Witcher Family of Wraiths, because fun things are going to be coming from that. Lots of fun. I can't say anything, but we have a season finale this next week, so it'll be great. But you can always check my Twitter, because those posts going to be all the fun things I get to do, all the fun people I get to hang out with. And if you follow my Twitter, things might be posting soon about other things that I'm doing. That'll be interesting. And thank you once again for a fabulous season, all of you. I love you.
And before I go into my spiel, let's just roll our winner for the Level Up Dice set, courtesy of our partners, Level Up Dice. The winner is, wow, EKYN. You're just super lucky tonight, EK. I will need, for this one, because it's a physical reward, I will need you to send me an address, a physical address that I can send the dice at. But thank you so much. Congratulations, EKYN, and thank you for chilling with us every Friday. I was going to say for Saturday. Woof. So that said, thank you to all of our sponsors for tonight. Thank you to Cyberpunk, to Artalsorians, the Artalsorian Games, the maker of Cyberpunk. By the way, tomorrow for the opening of PAX Online, Mike Pundsmith, the lead designer and creator of Cyberpunk, will be giving the keynote speech at the opening ceremony of PAX Online. You can find it on YouTube. You'll be able to find it on Twitch as well. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in listening to what Mike has to say. Otherwise, I would also like to thank Found Familiar, to thank Roll20, and thank MAGE and Press for all of their sponsorships and for keeping with us throughout all these years. And of course, thank you to our partners, Level Up Dice, through the Diceomancy program. The more that people use the purple torch down below or the link in chat to click, the more special dice I can give away to all of you fine folks. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/wanderingdm. We are having this month, the workshop of the month is going to be about communication skills and how to address your players both in and out of game, and how to ensure that the games that you are playing are mostly stress-free. And of course, we're going to have the encounter of the month, which the poll for which is going to go live this weekend. And as well, now I can say it, we're going to have a new goodie to give to all of our, I think it's going to be for the Wanderer tier and above. So anyone who's a $5 patron and up, in addition to the encounter of the month, you will get an animated map to be used in Roll20 or your virtual tabletop of your choice, or even, you know, on a TV screen if you're using a TV screen at home. So these are maps drawn by Domil's. Let me just grab the name real quick. Domil's Wondrous Works, and animated by me. And so we've been working together for a couple of weeks now to get a library of maps out. They are gorgeous, and they are basically about 30 to 50 seconds long, and they feature various different places, such as islands, cliff top. There's a few caverns and stuff like that, so you can definitely pick them up and use them in your encounters, in your games at home. That said, you can find us tomorrow for some more Black Flag, and then Monday for Castle Falkenstein. Next week, we will not have a Dragon Age game, so nothing on Thursday, or if we have, we're going to have something impromptu on Thursday, but it's not going to be Dragon Age. And we'll be back the week after with the return of a beloved character. And otherwise, you can catch Season 3 of Cyberpunk Red beginning on either October 2nd or October 9th. This will be confirmed by Twitter. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a good weekend, and I will see you in Night City in a few weeks. Bye-bye.